Shalom. Kol halal Yahweh Shem Abishai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to you few Akwaf that are out there listening and learning, this is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago. And as it says on the screen, these will be remembered as the good old days. And I'm talking about 2020. Because 2021 started off with the bang, and it is going to go downhill because you at the top of the hill of SHIT, and everyone knows that SHIT rolls downhill. All right. And these people, in the midst of their chaos, they're losing control of their chaos. That order out of chaos is going to fail miserably. All right, that order out of chaos, creating the chaos, and then trying to come in and bring the cure to the what was it? Now I'm forgetting the saying. Boy, my mind has really been occupied. But you create the scenario, then you watch the reaction, and then you come in with the remedy, something to that effect. That's not going to work, and it's not working. But this is Jeremiah 49:7, and it reads, concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? And it sure seems like it, because it has. All right? But without any further ado, I'm going to play this video, and even my man here from the Silver Report, his commentary is usually very well organized and very well on point, but he's kind of shaken, and he, and all his thoughts didn't come out right. It's like he would start on a subject, then he would jump to another, and normally he's not like that. You know why? Because he's stressed out, because he doesn't see any way out of this. It's like he's looking at this massive problem, which he knows is going to lead to a worse problem. And if you really pay attention to the images on the screen, it's got the first woe, the Great Depression, the second woe, and it's got the GFC, and then it's got this, what you think is going to happen here in this circle. All right? As a matter of fact, let's grab a scripture, and then we'll let the video play. Let me find it real quick. This is Revelation 11:14. And it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly. And just had a general say that they haven't announced it on the regular news yet, but they will. That the third world war has already begun. All right, and right now it's being fought economically, and it's being fought through cyberspace. It's a cyber war, but it's going to keep elevating unto a physical thing. All right. This society is, not only the society here in America, but worldwide, are crashing, are headed toward chaos. War between the countries and war within their borders with their own people. But let's let some of this video play.
Now, the interesting thing is that the spending has gone out of control. Our national debt is out of control. And I also wanted to talk about the fact that this is not going to change. Things are about to blow wide open in regards to spending. And the reason I say this is because they say they have these bold new radical transformations coming for the United States. They're also utilizing these spending bills to support cities and states that are having a tough time economically. Now ask yourself, why is California and New York having a tough time economically? Why are they struggling? Why are their budgets stressed? Why is the budget in Chicago, Illinois, having a tough time? Why can't they afford all of these promises, all of these, I guess they're liabilities at this point, unfunded liabilities? It's because of poor management. Poor management. They have driven out just about every critical business from those particular states. They've cleared them out almost entirely. And eventually, this would stop. This would stop because the state would be totally and completely economically ruined. It would be ruined. Everybody there would eventually be homeless or out of a job or moving. And so eventually, it would need to stop. It would need to stop because people would get too upset. But it won't need to stop if they're able to implement MMT. So MMT is this idea they've been pushing for a long time, but of course it's a ridiculous idea. It's a ridiculous concept because it requires tax rates of 70 to 90% sometimes. But it's this idea that because you create the currency and you own the currency, you can create an unlimited supply of it for anything you want to buy. You could just print more and more and more, and it doesn't matter how much you print because you own the currency. Now, all of this is completely and totally an unacceptable idea for the world reserve currency, which brings us to this idea that I've been sharing recently, that the fact that it looks like the elite are done using the dollar for the purpose it has been used for, for the past 60, 70 years. And that's very, very troubling. It's also troubling that they're going to utilize these funds from the...
Now, what's this telling you is that the dollar was used to get dominance for Babylon and to collect up all the world's wealth, but the dollar had a purpose. The dollar had a purpose, and its purpose was to fail so that they can go digital. And going digital means that something has to be inserted into each individual person in order to use the new currency system. And I won't go, and that's talked about in the book of Revelation. The last time I spoke about it, they deleted my video and put a strike on my channel. So I'm not going to go too far into it. I'm going to leave it alone, leave it at that. All right.
The federal government from states that are not, falling apart, and they're going to use it to fund these special interests, these specific states that are ruining their own economy. They have done it to themselves. They've done it to themselves. And honestly, what they're attempting to do here, the concept they're putting forward is that you will own nothing and that you will be happy about it. That by 2030,
and you will be happy about it. Legislation has already been put into action to where they're going to acquire all the property from the landowners and the homeowners. All right. Just in case you didn't know. Now you know.
Everyone in the world will not have any property. None at all. Only the state will. Now they say we'll be happy, and part of the way that they're going to bring this in is that they're going to begin giving people a universal basic income. They're going to begin doing this, and of course, if you recall, they said that they were going
to... And you will be happy about it. Reminds me of the joke in Desperado with the telephone and the piss. If you've never seen it, those of you who've seen it are probably, snickering, laughing a little bit right now. All right? Because Quentin Tarantino is a nut. He might be a Jake, but he's too creative. But nevertheless, those in the know what I'm talking about. All right? And that's what they're trying to pull off here. They want to piss and shit on you. And not only will you let them do it, but you'll like it. All right? Because that's what they're trying to do. Real talk.
Be shutting down all non-essential businesses as a part of this, effort to save the planet from the weather. And somehow they think they can keep the masses appeased if they set up some system for direct payments to Americans. And now I wanted to point out another interesting statement that came out from the Fed. Now, this was about 8 months ago, and it's only now becoming more and more relevant. The Federal Reserve, they announced plans to begin setting up an infrastructure to deliver direct payments to American citizens on their FedNow account. So the FedNow is this all-digital dollar. They plan to implement it by 2024. There will be no more paper currency. Everything will be tracked. Everything will be held inside by the Federal Reserve, by the central banking system. There will be no more unbanked. Everyone will be totally and completely subject to the Fed's oversight. They're going to be able to examine, to see everything that everyone buys, everything they spend their money on. They will have absolute control.
And there it is. How else are they going to do that? This is Job, the 20th chapter, verse 27, and it reads, The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. And when you think about it, how all the information, we're in the information age, and when the World Wide Web, is shot, and that's the internet scripture, which in I believe is Psalms 19, right, which was foretold by King David, who was not only our king but also a prophet, and he prophesied about the internet, all right, and he prophesied that this truth would go out, 24/7 in all languages into the heavens and spread around the four corners of the earth, and it has, roughly paraphrased. And so I read that again. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. So through all this information that is being leaked and shared, which is why they're coming down so hard on certain information. You got Twitter, YouTube, and what's the other outlet that just, got rid of Donald Trump's. You have to ask yourself, who are these companies that have absolute power to silence a sitting president? They have this unchecked power. Who voted them into power? Who allows them? What happened to the freedom of speech? It's gone. And that's why the world is rising up against them. This is Job 20 and 22. And it reads, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And the wicked there is talking about the nations of the world. All right. He is going to be in dire straits. All right. Trying to implement this plan to the citizens of the world. It is not going to work. He's going to meet rebellion. He's going to be forced to use his original blessing. All right. Because the fatness of the earth, he rolled that one out. All right. But what he did do, it said that by the sword thou shalt live, and thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. So by the sword they live, and they took all the best places of the earth, and now they're about to lose them all. And they're going to implement that sword one last time. And then the Lord is going to completely, and the standard is going to be lifted up against them. The heavenly air force is coming. Michael and the angels are coming to fight against Satan, the human adversary, and his angels, his F-14s. All right. And then the Lord's ground forces are going to be activated. They're going to get that spiritual power and that strength. Well, Isaiah, matter of fact, let's grab that. It's Isaiah 54 and 17, and it reads, no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. So this righteous army of the 144,000 is going to get raised up to be the ground forces here on the earth. And they're going to thrash, because they're going to be changed in an instant, and they're going to become that battle axe and that new threshing instruments of judgment. All right. Let's go back to Job 22. I'm sorry. Job 20 and 22. All right. Actually 23. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. All right. So while he is eating, that destruction, right as he begins to, right as he implements this thing. So when everyone is being digitized and they get that thing off the ground and they begin to eat that meal, that's when the Lord is going to come and tear that ass up. All right. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. There's no escape. Call Halal Yahweh by Shem Abashai by Shem Rakakwadash Wa Abab Abal Shalom.